Hello everybody, my name is Jennifer Maker. It's a beautiful day to show you how to make adorable planner paper clips on the Great Maker Show and Tell. I love taking something everyday and boring and turning it into something special and attention-getting, like paper clips. We don't need to use boring paper clips. We can make our own super cute paper clips for planners, pages, and books. These are so easy to make. This is a great beginner project. Make them for everyone and watch their reactions when they see how cute they are. These paper clips work really well in a planner to brighten your day, and they also work wonderfully as bookmarks like I have here in my Cricut Coach Playbook. There are 8 designs: a turtle, an elephant, a dolphin, an owl, a snail, a kitty, a bird, and a bunny. Aren't they just so cute? All you need for this project is some cardstock, poster board, or craft board, and a way to cut it. I'm using several sheets of holographic craft board for a bright and happy look. You don't need much. One sheet will make a lot of paper clips. Now, to cut these planner paper clips, I am using my Cricut cutting machine. You can cut these on a Cricut Joy, an Explorer, or a Maker, or just cut them by hand using a craft knife and the printable PDF. If you do use a Cricut cutting machine, you're going to want to use the green standard grip mat and the fine point blade. Now, just for fun, I also included a little debossing detail. You can see that on the owl here. Debossing is when you push into your paper to create an indent. You can create a deboss on the Cricut Maker using the debossing tip. Now, if you don't have a Cricut Maker and a debossing tip, you can get a similar detail using the scoring stylus on a Cricut Explorer. This is a paper clip that I debossed on the Explorer, and here's the one on the Maker. Looks pretty good, don't you think? So let me show you where to get my 8 free paperclip designs, and then I will show you how to cut your super cute, easy planner paper clips too. Step 1, get the designs. Download the free animal paperclip designs from my blog at jennifermaker.com/264. Just go to the red bar at the top and look for libraries. Then either click Get a Password if you don't yet have one, or click Enter the library. You can find the pattern by searching the page for design 264 and then click it to download an SVG cut file for cutting with a Cricut or another cutting machine, as well as a printable PDF to cut by hand. Step 2. Upload the designs. Let me show you how to cut these cute paper clips on a Cricut cutting machine. First, upload the SVG cut file that you downloaded in Step 1 to Cricut Design Space. If you're using the Maker with the debossing tool, upload the Deboss version. If you're using the Explorer with the scoring stylus, upload the Score version. If you're unsure how to unzip and upload SVG files, please watch my SVGs Made Simple training series at jennifermaker.com/SVGS. Once you've uploaded the designs into Cricut Design Space, check to make sure that the SVG file imports correctly. Each paperclip has 2 attached layers. The first layer of each paperclip should be automatically set to Fine Deboss or Score, depending on which file you uploaded. The second layer is set to Cut. This is what the Deboss version of the SVG file looks like when it's imported into Design Space. This file is set up so each paperclip has a decorative accent that we'll see after we deboss it. By the way, deboss means to push the material inward, which of course is the opposite of emboss. Debossing requires using a fine debossing tip on a Cricut Maker, but you can also simulate this with the scoring stylus on a Cricut Explorer. Now, if you don't have a debossing tool or scoring stylus, you can still cut the paper clips without the debossing feature. To do this, turn off the deboss layer for each paper clip or the score layer, either way, by clicking on the eye icon on every layer that says Fine Deboss or Score. Once they're all hidden, your file is ready to cut without debossing or scoring. You should also decide if you want to cut all 8 animals. You can hide the ones that you don't want to cut with the eye icon. If you want to make multiple copies of one animal, select the attached layers and click Duplicate until you have as many copies as you need. Now just click Make It to see the matte preview screen. To cut multiple colors of paper using only one mat, you can position each paperclip element into a different corner or section of your cutting mat in the mat preview screen. Do this by clicking and dragging each paperclip element to move them around on the mat, just like this. And here's a tip. You can use the corners to line up the elements and paper on the mat. The ruler measurements are also really handy here if you're using multiple pieces of paper. When you're ready, click Continue, and you'll be prompted to select your material settings. For this project, I used Cricut Holographic Foil Kraft Board. So in the Materials section, I select this type of paper in the Artboard area. If you're cutting these paper clips from another type of material, such as heavy cardstock, choose that as your material instead. Step 3. Cut your paper clips. To show you how easy this is to do, my design elf will cut and assemble this project while I talk you through it. Once the Cricut knows where to cut everything, place your craft board onto a green cutting mat and use a burnisher to smooth it down and adhere it well to the mat. Make sure each piece of paper is appropriately sized for your paper clips. Refer to the mat preview for the placement and size needed by clicking or hovering over it as you place your material. If you need more details on how to cut multiple colors at once, see my video tutorial about placing multiple colors onto a single mat at jennifermaker.com/shortcut1. If you're using the Cricut Maker, load your fine debossing tool, that's the number 21 tip, into the clamp. The debossing tip has a small roller ball in the tip, which presses down on the material to give it a debossed look. Now press the flashing button and your Cricut Maker will use the fine debossing tip to deboss the craft board. When it's done, it will prompt you to change your tool to the fine point blade. Change the tool and click the flashing go button again, and the Maker will now cut out your paper clips. When finished, gently remove the paper and paper clips from the mat. Congratulations, you've now debossed and cut your paper clips. These are the pieces you'll have when you're all done. Step 4, show it off. Look at these adorable paper clips. They are so cute. You can use them to bookmark pages in your planner, or put them into your favorite novel to keep your place, or use them in scrapbooking designs, or why not use them to make that boring presentation so much more fun? How easy was that? Who needs boring paper clips when you can make something this adorable? Just imagine the compliments you're going to get when you pass out the handouts in your next meeting with these little cuties. Now, if you have any questions about how to use the debossing tool or the scoring tool, I love to help. Leave your question below this video or ask in our Cricut Crafters group at jennifermaker.com/Cricut Crafters, where you can get help from lots of people who love to use their Cricuts too. And if you need a Cricut cutting machine, I give one away every month. You can enter for your chance to win one at jennifermaker.com/Cricut giveaway. And that's it for today. Tomorrow, I'll be back to show you how to make a kitchen conversions chart for like a cutting board or even the inside of your kitchen cabinet door. It is so cool. Remember, I love hearing about your project ideas. If you can tell me what you want to make, I can show you how to make it. Until next time, this is Jennifer Maker reminding you to craft a life you love.